Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, one and all. Welcome back, my friends. This is, of course, the MRC show that never ends. And welcome one, welcome all to a very soggy, very damp, and if you're Mr. Baby Hornet, a very moist Mexican Grand Prix Round 9 here of Season 18 in MRC. Well, I mean, we've had some weather here in Mexico, usually a beautiful time of year, and very lovely weather, but MRC has not picked it this week, a lot of wet weather, so now we have the Tier 0 boys also going to be dabbling in the damp stuff. But before we get into qualifying, it is a pleasure to introduce a brand new man alongside me. His first time in commentary, so go nice, please, ladies and gents, in the commentary chat. He is one of three the boys are taking over MRC. Josh Boy, good evening, my friend. Very well, mate, very well. Welcome to the commentary, welcome to, well, how the madness happens, I should say. It's not really much the magic, it's definitely the madness. I can imagine, I mean, I can't believe. Well, is this your first season with us? I think it is, isn't it, as well? Yeah, and, you know, you're already with us in the commentary box, and to be fair, I'll be honest, mate, making a good name for yourself as well in Tier 4. Absolutely. Absolutely, it's been a heck of a season so far, and I mean, I can't believe we're in Mexico, and I think every tier has had some sort of wet weather this week. It's been absolutely crazy. Yeah, I think Tier 2 on Monday had sort of damp qualifying with the threat of rain late. Tier 2 was wet race, a little bit like this. Tier 3, I think, had a little bit, if I remember. You've got no sound for some reason, my friend. Coming through. No, I think it may need to be, if you go through via the Xbox, even though you're on the Discord on your phone, if you go through the Xbox, in your settings it'll be allowed to share the audio. Like party audio or call audio, if you go through that, mate, it should hopefully work. Yeah, I found them on a call, so it should work. If anybody in YouTube is familiar with Discord via PS and Xbox and Discord calls to get that set up, please do let us know. That would be fantastic. Well, Josh is working on that one and looking for feedback. Then we shall go through qualifying a few people on their opening laps, slipping and sliding around this track as GTS sets a 26.6, the first lap of the evening. We're on board with Maverick Mustang. Difficult race last night, had a few connection issues in Tier 4, but fingers crossed he's got those fixed tonight and he will be back with us. Everyone just taking it steady at this point. He's very brave on the overtake button, must admit, especially doing 0 assists, as this is the tier where nothing is allowed. The drivers are down to their finesse on the throttle and the brake pedals. Try not to lock up, try not to spin those rear wheels and pirouette around, especially in this, which is usually a bit of a low downforce track here. But in these conditions, sometimes the higher downforce setups can be beneficial. You gain the time through the second and third sector. So it's going to be interesting to see who has got which type of setup. We will find out, of course, during the course of qualifying and then potentially through the start of the race. Josh, how are you getting on, my friend? Okay. Possibly something along those lines. I'm sure we've got Steve and Ant in the chat, so I'm sure they'll tell us as soon as they can hear you. But I think those boys are both PS, so that probably doesn't help matters at this point for you, but I'm sure we'll get sorted, mate. That's absolutely no problem. I'm sure we had this problem with one of our previous commentators, and then suddenly we got it sorted. And it was strange because the first time we ever did it, I just sounded like I was talking to myself, so I just had this little voice in my ear. You're friends with GTS, aren't you? If you give him a shout, he, I think, according to Steve, used it yesterday, the Discord, for the commentary. I know he's on track, but if you give him a message, he should be able to help, apparently. So he might be able to give you the right settings and how that works, so fingers crossed. As we're on board with Mr. Armoret, going through the middle sector. Few people now. You expect to see a few drivers this time round going for a couple of flying laps. The intermediate tyres. Usually you'd fuel for about 4 or 5 laps, try and get the heat into the tyres. You learn where the grip is on the circuit. You gain the confidence. You get the temperature as well into those tyres. So definitely expect, as GTS does go 8 tenths quicker than his previous laps. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You gain the time all the way through the session, as Armour puts in a 26.2 as well. So yeah, I think we're trying to get you sorted there, Josh, so looking like it, so fingers crossed we'll get something. But this is where you'd expect, like I say, a couple of people to maybe just doing a little cool down lap, get their charge back in their battery, as we're on board with Saviour starting his first flying lap, using a lot of his battery down the start finish straight, taking it nice and easy, giving the curbs a very wide berth, not to get too slippy, drifting on the exit of turn 3. We'll keep an eye on the McLaren man, see how he is getting on. As I said, very difficult, very tricky circuit, this one. But this has been a championship where it's been very close. We've had some fantastic races this season, some incredible drives, some incredible victories. Saviour has been the lead man mainly through the season. Did miss last time out when we moved to Brazil, but taken a lot of victories so far, 6 already this season. Bear in mind, we are only on round 9. So only 2 races this season. He has not been on the top step. Colin last time out with an incredible victory. That to promote him all the way up to 5th in the standings. So he's going to try and replicate, not here this week, unfortunately, as Saviour goes immediately into provisional pole position halfway through the session by nearly 2 tenths of a second from GTS. And he is in the pits. Let's have a look who is out on track. Where is the boss man? Birthday boy from yesterday. He's only 85-year-old. But I'm sure his reaction times, I'm sure he's going to listen to that. But his reaction times are still up there. He's still going to be pushing on. Had a very, very good race in Tier 2 on Monday evening. Podium for Martin, very well deserved podium, and well overdue, I'd have to say, the way he's been driving this season. Absolutely top form, a little bit of bad luck. Going with the purple and yellow helmet looks like a tribute to me, funny enough. So much appreciate Mr. Singertrack. Stays 12th at this point, but does improve on his time. He'll look to charge, and I'm sure it'll go again. Who is on a lap? Floppy Loppy, 7 tenths up, has just improved to 27.5. Bit of few gaps along the field. Top 9 actually separated by 2 seconds, believe it or not. But that such is the confidence and the difference you get when it comes to these damp conditions. How can you keep hold of the heat in your tyres? How's the setup looking? So of those who raced on Monday evening, look at that Dumas Hornet. Well, Rassam, the top 7 race Monday evening in these conditions. So they usually have a few assists as well, but they definitely have the knowledge that they can fall back on of how to set the car up, any changes that they may need to have made. I don't know if you've got that, Josh, but I know that GTS is back in the pits, so hopefully Lewis will be able to get back to you. Have you managed to try anything? Oh, mate. I wonder if it is because you buy it for not the Xbox itself. So, fingers crossed, my friend, fingers crossed. Good evening all, 9 of you. Please do hit the thumbs up, like button. And do give us a follow if you have not rang the bell. And give us a quick shout. Single track improves. About nearly a second, so this is it. You're getting the confidence now, you're getting the grip in the tyres, the fuel starting to burn off as well. All three factors start playing a part, and now the lap times come tumbling. Loppy has had another improvement, 27.1 as well, up into 8th. Let's have a look at Vitalso. He is through. This is the middle sector of this lap, very difficult sector, especially in these conditions. Going to be very patient, allow the car to come to you. A lot of sliding, but easy to invalidate your lap time. 1.1 up on his lap. This will put him actually about the top 8 if we're looking good, if he has a very solid last sector. Polsky, what a lap! 25.4, beat Saviour's time by 1.5 tenths, so he is absolute flying. Being on the track at the right time really does play dividends this time on. Vitalso does improve up to 9th, so a great lap from him. Chris Bailey's improved to 3rd as well behind Saviour. Is that going to be battle reignited? I'm pretty sure it is going to be. Tell you what, let's have a ride on board with Mr. Anton. Hasn't set a lap time yet, so let's keep an eye as we go down the start finish straight. Leg braking about 120, 130 metres in the wet conditions. Takes it nice and steady. Second gear, just keeping it nice and calm in these damp conditions through turn 3. This would be another DRS zone, double DRS in dry conditions. And the run towards turn 4, usually braking about 100 metres. A little bit earlier again, hits the apex very nicely indeed. That car just upshifting to stop the wheel spin, just nice and steady through the long hairpin of turn 6, then trying to get the traction down, short shifting, very careful with the power, nice and easy, feeding it through turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. Don't want to run too far to the right side because you've got to flick it through turn 10, usually flat out, which it certainly is, through turn 11. This is another little bit of a warm up for Ant, not using any of his battery, just being nice and steady, just getting a lap time on the board. He's got the final sector, turn 12, then the stadium, turn 13, long corner this one, got to nail it right then, turn 14, kink, he can easily invalidate 15, and get the last corner dead right to get the car straight. He can easily slide through turn 17, and then across the line as a 27.9ers, and just starting to give himself up for his main flying laps. Any good, Bolt? Oh, good. I mean, give us a bit of a... Hopefully people will be able to hear us now. GTS. Your mate's going a bit quicker and quicker at the minute. Well, I'm hoping you're going to try and jinx him. Aston Martin boys 1 and 2, but we've got Saviour, Chris and Armour leaving the pits on their outlaps. If anyone can hear and can hear Josh speaking as well in the background at times, please do let us know. That we'll know we finally got it cracked. I think worst case scenario, we'll get Lewis on in the 5-minute break, mate, and then hopefully he'll give us some ideas. Let's have a look. Rassam at the minute had a really good race on Monday, very solid performance from him, really stepped up the game in F1 25, and in this season and the last he's really been very competitive as he's up on his middle sector time. Only 2.5 minutes left, so drivers on track should get another lap, potentially 2 laps. If they finish now, he'll be able to have that cool down lap recharge the batteries. It does improve. I think it's going to be a race for pole position. It's going to be very tight indeed. There's Armour 4.5 tenths up through the first sector. How is he getting on through the middle sector as he comes through the S's? What's the change? It's 8 tenths improvement. This could take him to provisional pole as it stands. Of course, still plenty of time to go. Pushing on a little bit of wheel spin through the stadium section as he tries to get on the power overtake button. He's very brave going that early, but it is in the 24s we go. Armour in the Williams takes provisional pole. Where is Mr. Blowhole of the Bailey? Coming down at the end of sector 1. What's his improvement? 2.5 tenths. We'll keep an eye on that one. Xavier invalidated his lap time, so he's going to push on. Oh, Mr. Hornet has had another little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully he shall be back very, very soon. There's Chris, a little bit of traffic, a little bit shaky through and sliding through the hairpin. How's this middle sector going to look? Nice and calm, feathering the throttle, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. Just keeping the car in check. What's the improvement? It's 6 tenths. This could be another one challenging for provisional pole position. Needs to have a good solid final sector. He's definitely got in purple middle. So the fastest of anybody so far. As Rassam improves once again. Polsky's leaving it late to have an outlap. He's only going to get one shot at this one. And that's Chris Scott coming towards the line. It's Joe, not quite quick enough. It's a 25-0. 3 tenths off. GTS just starting a lap will leave him be. G-Star actually a 10th down through the first sector. Don't normally see that from Ben. Let's have a quick look through his middle sector. Dumatona did get back in. Thank goodness for that. G-Star's middle sector. Coming through 12. DRS would be activated. Does improve in that middle sector. But shall leave him be. Where is... Ah, there he is. That was him. Xavier improves into second. I don't think he'll have enough time. He doesn't check it. Flag does fall. So anybody on a lap now, that is it. This is your final chance. Are we going to see anybody topple Armour from the top as G-Star? It does improve. He goes up to 5th. Where's the other Aston Martin? 4/10th improvement through the middle sector. Polsky wringing the neck of the Aston Martin. Purple middle. Excuse me. But now we come to the final sector. Xavier's just retired from the session. That's fine. He has finished. He isn't off track. But is it going to be pole position? It's not. It's 3rd only. At best for Polsky. Chris has finished. GTS was pushing on very squirrely through the exit. Oh, he's pushing. He's really pushing on. A big spin. Oh, couldn't quite. We left that one be. Van's slow lap for Vans. He's done. And coming through the final sector down in 13th. Not where you'd expect Ant to be, but he's a second up. This could catapult him into the top 10 midway through that. How's his last sector going to be? Leaving it late as well. He's got a car ahead, but not going to trouble him. Drifting through under the stadium. Final corner. How's the grip? Has he got the power? Has he got the speed? It's 6th for Ant right at the end. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is qualifying. Armour takes pole ahead of Xavier, then Polsky in 3rd ahead of Chris Bailey, GTS in 5th, and then Ant in 6th, Aston Alpine 3rd to 6th. And we'll go through the grid in a moment. Josh, hopefully, my friend, we've got something working. I think it's different when it comes to the broadcast, though, doesn't it? I think it's a bit different at times. I mean, hopefully Lewis will see it. I think he will have done. He has, actually. So he's not 100%, but if there's another way through, if anyone else uses Discord, then we can actually quickly, you know, pause and go for that. That can definitely happen. So we can have another try and we'll see who's got any ideas. But I mean, if we can't hear you, then I can relay, of course, to the chat. What do you think? Did you see much of qualifying? I know you're trying to sort your settings. Ah, that's no problem at all. Well, let me go through to you as well, in your benefit, my friend. It is Armour is on pole position with Safe in second, Polsky in third, Chris Bailey in fourth, GTS in fifth ahead of Ant in sixth, G-Star in seventh, then Rassam in eighth, Loppy in ninth, and Vans, good qualifying out. Drags he's in 10th. Sternberg ahead in 11th. Then Dumas Hornet 12th ahead of Atelso. Nell single track in 15th. Smith in 16th. Seb Mail. Lovely to have Seb racing with us once more. He's in 17th. Maverick Mustang then in 18th place. So, I know it said everyone was on medium tyres, but beautiful sunshine for the race, Josh. This could be a bit different. Yeah, completely dry. The only person that uses Discord is Andrew, and unfortunately Andrew is on a train somewhere, so we're not. So he's we're not really sure, and he uses PC, but it should be similar settings to be fair. If you tag him in the chat, maybe he can hopefully maybe just can't watch yet and watch back, but maybe he can answer and give us some answers. I don't know if you want to try him, mate. Give him a shout. But there we are, folks. So, in terms of strategy, we have seen a few people try the one-stop strategy here this week. Tends to favour the two-stop in dry conditions, the hards being the favourable race tyre. They are a lot slower than the medium tyres, however, they are very consistent. We see maybe 8 to 10 laps at best for the medium tyres before they really start to drop off. 36 laps, of course, this race. So you do tend to use the hard tyres that little bit more just to give you those extra few laps and stop them falling off as much as they do. Josh, how was your race? How do you find this track? It does a little bit, doesn't it? In the rain. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. There are tracks that in the rain you sort of they still offer the same amount of grip, don't they? They still amount the same levels. Yeah, Martin says he still can't hear you, mate. I don't know what changes you made. They've not worked just yet. Okay. Yeah, if you try through there and see if it goes better than that chat. Yeah. Yep, we'll give it a go. We shall give it a try. Trial and error. That is how progress has to be made by trial and error. Trying something, if it doesn't work, we shall make it work again. I know we're just waiting for the ready up call. And Josh said, I know you couldn't hear, unfortunately, folks, but Josh was saying, that sometimes in wet conditions you can still find the grip. The track still offers some kind of level of performance, and he was just saying it was a bit difficult at times to find that level of grip than what you can usually afford in the dry conditions, regardless of setup. And I do agree, it's very, very slippery. It does take the amount of time, I think, personally, mate, and I think you might agree, is when you get to a certain point where you think, right, I've got the grip now, I've got the heat in the tyres, I can push on, the tyres seem to then just fall away. So you finally get the confidence, and then the tyres don't do it. Let's have a look. GTS is in the YouTube chat. Good evening. He messed up on his timing for his final one, but he's still happy with P5. Absolutely. Hopefully Ant as well. He starts P6. And then everybody, please do get involved. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because you sound a lot clearer to me as well. It might sound clearer in my ears, but I'm sure very quickly. Oh, interesting. I'm just waiting for someone to pop up in the YouTube chat and see if they've just heard you, so we can get that confirmation. And then we do. Fantastic. It'll be like an intro all over again. Half an hour later, you'll get the same intro once again. So we've got the ready up call from Armour, but no, Martin says he still couldn't hear you, mate. That's very frustrating because I hear you absolutely loud and clear as well in my headset. So that is very, very frustrating. But as excuse me, as Josh is just trying a few more settings, and hopefully it should work. We have had the ready up call, so in a few seconds time, as there we are, the next few seconds time, we are starting the formation lap here in round 9. So let's have a look at the tyre strategies. Majority of the top 6 all on the medium tyres. And a little bit of a mixture further back between the hards and the medium compound tyres. Interesting. Connor said he's sorting you, so I think Connor's sorting you, isn't he? Perfecto, Mr. Hardy, thank you very much, my friend. Suddenly you'll have some, but you'll say one little sentence or some little comment, and then somebody goes, I can hear you! Which is weird, because I thought he can. So, from your experience as well, mixture of tyres. You've got a lot of people on the mediums, a lot of people on the hards. That's going to be an interesting start, I think, isn't it? We shall see, folks. So, of course, getting the heat into the tyres, not easy at all around here. Easy to overheat them as well a little bit around, especially this middle sector. Pushing too far, too hard, too soon can really burn them out. But we shall wait and see. Armour having a good solid season as well in Tier 0. Go through standings very, very quickly once more for everybody as they come to line up on the grid. He is second in the championship, 23 points behind the man who's starting alongside him. So any kind of victory to date will really help pull him in. GTS also having a good season. He's a little bit further back though. He's 90 points back off the leader. But now we've got the last of the drivers lined up. Hopefully, my friend, hopefully they've just heard you, because we're just about to go for the start of round 9 here in Mexico. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And MRC, let's go racing. It's a good even start. I think Xavier got the better start out of the two, and he's already pulling alongside Armour. He's already passed Armour way before halfway down the straight. They was trying to get the slipstream. Xavier goes now to the racing line, 3 abreast as we go into turn 1. Chris Bailey trying on the outside of Armour as well, trying to carry the speed. Got the inside line, we've seen contact there before, and what a start from him. He's up to 4. GTS as well, Polski, poor start. He's dropped down the order. Chris and Armour, how many times we've seen these two side by side, and into turn 4. Chris takes second. What a crazy start that was. How are we getting on, Josh? Hopefully we can hear you. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Look at this, Osterberg had to take to the escape road in his battle with Loppy, and Loppy does now finally get through. Side by side from 4 corners there, great battling between them. No, Wookie says no, mate. I think we may have to sort of admit defeat on this one. You may have to be my sort of engineer, if you like, be my spotter on track. And I mean, we can still thought you, well, you still are commentating with me, we just can't hear you, so I have to reiterate to our audience, of course. But that's just really unfortunate. We'll sort that for next week, mate, so don't feel too disheartened. It's just yeah, we'll have a bit of a play with it. We'll get something sorted with it because we've managed it before to do it. But going back to the start of this race, crazy start of the race, very clean as well. Chris, our pole sits now as Steve, he's now down to third place. Chris and Saviour both through, and G-Star as well. Good start as well. Hard compound tyres for G-Star. Let's have a quick look at the position changes. It's the big loser is Polsky, down 5 places as well. Yeah, big loss there for him. And I think that was GTS. Very slidey. Got a real slide on out of turn 6 hairpin. Puts him under pressure from G-Star, and more importantly, it puts him out of. And look at this, Rassam! Wow! Where did that come from? Opportunistic, as you like, from Rassam. G-Star was held up, had to back out a little bit. Audio set to share with public. There's another one from Wookie. Try that one, see if that works as well. One of the many other things. But yeah, what a move from Rassam. G-Star had to react to GTS. Rassam in the middle sector just said, thank you, excuse me, I am coming through. So the Haas now up into 6th place. We saw how quick he was on Monday evening, but they are now, as GTS actually managed to get back within the DRS of the cars ahead. Maybe used a bit much of his battery in order to, and actually Rassam as well, everybody within DRS of each other at this point. So all the way down to 8th, Polsky now trying to recover from that difficult start. As Loppy now, the man in 9th, is the biggest gap on the field, so everybody's still tightly bunched. Have you managed it, pal? Might be something to do with the Discord party chat to share, potentially as well. Yeah, if you try those, yeah, through that one as well, yeah, that's right. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed we can try it. But at start of lap 4, we have Saviour only 4 tenths ahead of Mr. Blowhole of the Bailey, who's got the DRS, who's closing on, you could say, his greatest rival, his greatest nemesis. Backs out into turn 1, does Chris to the Alpine, just biding his time. Didn't want to send a lunge too soon on the McLaren ahead of him, but he's got to be careful. Armour behind, then his teammate, and so they've moved from the team in red to the team in the pink. Chris and going to team up. They're going to work together to take a strong result home for the Alpines. GTS about a second further back as well, with Rassam closing in. So no one is out of this yet. Loppy seems to be the one struggling for pace. Dropped another second to the top 8. There's a few gaps just starting to form. Sternberg, the first man to get a 3-second time penalty. Let's get rid of those extra bits on the side of the screen. There's everybody going very wide. Chris and Saviour into the stadium section. Very deep. Very wide indeed. Didn't lose any places though. Armand wasn't able to capitalise on that. This is now just this part of those medium tyres just starting to struggle slightly as they get a little bit too hot in the dirty air as well. Now Chris a lot closer this time round, just deciding he wants to stay there, just sits behind Saviour, biding his time, maybe trying to save his tyres a little bit, maybe trying to save some of his battery to launch an assault when it comes closer to the pit stop window. I know Chris tend to favour this different strategies. It worked well last week in Brazil. Took the hard tyres all the way to the downpour, and it worked very well. Good result for Chris, and so they try and do similar this week. Take those medium tyres to at least lap 12-13 if possible, before then he can, if not a bit longer, maybe even lap 15, lap 16 if he can, and take the hard tyres towards the end of the race. Josh, I don't know if you're playing with some of your settings still, mate, or if you're in this with us. Ah. Yeah, I'm not sure what else there might be then, to be honest. Ah. I know Wookie's watching us as well, see if he can, I don't know if he's on PS as well, so we'll have to see. We'll have to try it, and hopefully someone's might have heard you somehow, I'm not sure how. It's quite strange because obviously the only difference is the console. We're in this party, everyone can hear me, but yeah, it is really strange. As Rassam, he was the man on the charge. We said he was closing was if GTS has made an error somewhere. He looked a bit shaky early on. He has made a mistake. Rassam is now through up into 5th. It's now GTS struggling for his grip. Mate, you're not even on the audio and you still seem to have done something to GTS. You seem to have done something. Yeah, that was... You just did it. You just seemed to curse him ahead of time. Can't really get away from these top 4 because Dummets aren't now with a 3-second penalty as well. Hopefully Maverick Mustang's his connection issues are okay and he's back with his wheel. Struggling the other night. Saving this last lap, just pulled a couple of tenths on Chris. Everyone's still within that DRS. Now it's job for Rassam to try to close the gap, but losing quite a bit of time naturally down the start-finish straight. And all the drivers ahead in the DRS train just gets left behind that little bit. GTS still there for company G-Star at this point, struggling for overall pace. Let's go to the tyres. He's on the hard tyres as well, GTS. So you'd think at this point the crossover point will it be about where we are, lap 7 to lap 8, and those hard tyres will start to come through into their own a little bit more. However, I mention that the hard tyres are a slow tyre around here. They are 2 steps harder than the medium tyres. They're not just the 1 step, they are 2 steps harder, so that can really make a difference. It's a lot harder to have the overall grip, but I think the overall wearing them is a bit difficult to manage as well. So we'll see how G-Star gets on. GTS really struggling for grip. He has now dropped off the back of Rassam to nearly 2 seconds, that gap, after the final revolution around this track. G-Star is starting to close a few gaps, forming Polsky has fallen off the back of G-Star. Loppy now 4.6 seconds, but a bit further back Sternberg having a good race. He's in 11th. He's got Dumas Hornis, Seb Mail, Vans and Singletrack and Vitalso all nose to tail behind him. Dumas Hornet closing with the DRS. Dumas Hornet's going to try and make the move down the start finish straight and does with the DRS. Seb Mail waiting in the wings. See what he can make of it. Nothing so far, not close enough this time round. Yeah, but Rassam lost a bit of time now as well to the top 4. It was top 8. Now the top 4 just starting to pull away slightly from the chasing pack. And this is where the dirty S starts to come into it. Talk about overheating the tyres. Talk about also just getting a few early track limit warnings as well. That also plays into the back of a driver's mind if you get one early on. Start to drive just that little bit more cautious, a little bit differently, and that can cost you quite a few tenths per lap, and that of course all adds up. Josh, how are we getting on, my friend? Ah, that's a shame, mate. I think we're going to have to I think we'll have to do some digging, won't we, over the next day or two, mate, see what we can what we can do, my friend. Yeah, that's unlucky. No, it's not your fault, mate. Nothing we can do. It's a learning curve, mate. That's all it is. So, yeah, we'll. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Actually, that's a point. I'll discuss that with you afterwards. Actually, about that. There might be a way around it. Actually, I think we can get it working. So we'll have a look at that. And but yeah, unfortunate, my man. Unfortunate. But to be fair, you can sit back now and enjoy the race. Absolutely, let me know what you see and see what you're spotting for me. As Nels has got through on Loppy. Nels now starting a little charge, but that's 6.7 gap. Really quite crucial. Let's have a look at the interval to the leader, of course. It's about 22, 23 second stop. Something like that, I think. I think it's quite a large one, isn't it, around here? So, with that being said, you know, the lead is Armour. I said the Armour's maybe a bit too early to pit. Armour is the first man to blink. The man in third, he's had enough of those. GTS also pits as well. He was really struggling for grip. Lewis, so they could drop around Vitalso area. So that's about that. Let's have a look. Armourette is now just leaving the pit lane. So maybe not just as much as that, but it's not going to be far away. Maybe 20, 22 seconds it is. So he's come out with Sternberg as well in that big fight. That is not good for Armour because he's got fresh tyres. Everyone's battling around him. Sternberg around the outside. Single Track's having a look, trying to make moves as well, trying to take advantage. But if I'm right, oh no, he did get Armour did get DRS because he was behind Chris. I thought he wouldn't get DRS then, but he's come out ahead of Single Track, which Single Track on the hard tyres as well. We've been trying to go a bit longer and we've been trying to battle with the guys ahead. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. 7 mil, 3 second penalty. But now, Saviour's had an error. Saviour's made a mistake. The man who was leading has now dropped to 2.5 seconds behind Ant and Chris, who are nose to tail coming through the final corner. What happened to Saviour? And he's pitted. I don't know if he's got any. Well, it doesn't seem to have. He's moving very quickly, so he hasn't got any damage. So I'm not sure what Single Track joining the 3 second club as well. But Saviour with that error, we could call it. Is he going to come out in this battle as well? I think he is, isn't he? Armour's jumped him. Armour's got through on the undercut. And he's well ahead because, where's Saviour? There he is. He's behind Single Track and he's got Sternberg for company as well. So Single Track got through on Sternberg. He was kind of halted last time around. There's contact with Saviour and Sternberg. Sternberg's missing an end plate. Actually, I think Single Track's also missing an end plate. Maybe the two of them came together and they're both missing, yeah, opposite end plate. So that could have been something we missed during the last lap. But Single Track and Sternberg, yeah, having damage together, coming together. And now we've got Saviour has got 3 cars on used hard tyres between him and Armour. That could be absolutely massive. So, lap 12. A third of the way through this race. We've got the 2 Alpines, 1 and 2. You don't often say that, to be fair. That's a new one. It is a bit, isn't it? No, you don't, do you? But to be fair, Armour's now set the fastest lap, so you've got those hard tyres working pretty quickly. Ah, Mika. Hello, Mika. How are you doing? Glad to have you, mate. Nice to see you. So G-Star's put himself up into third now. He's going a bit longer, of course, on the hard tyres. Yeah, that's a good point. No, that is very true, mate. Yeah, good point. Yeah, as Josh was saying to me there, it's easy to get the track limit warnings and exactly that. Yeah, you can, just go. But you almost think 2 wheels on. You do feel like you're on the white line, don't you? And it suddenly can call you. It's one of those tracks that, yes, they are very small lines. Absolutely, mate. I agree. As now Chris was the leader of the Alpines. He has chosen to pit at the end of lap 12 and has been pushed to go for 1 more lap. I think he's going to come out behind Armour, but where is he going to come out with this battle behind? Because GTS is also near there as well. He has pitted. He's come out just behind Single Track. eye on Chris, pardon me, as he leaves the pit lane. Is he going to be ahead of Saviour? This is going to be very, very close, I think. Where's Saviour? There he is. He's pushing down. Look, there's Chris. Chris also got the jump on Saviour as he's trying to battle through Seb and the chasing pack. Yeah. Well, you don't normally see the overcut work. We saw the undercut with armour work very, very well. And he has pulled time on Chris. But that, just look at that difference. Saviour must have had a mistake somewhere. And that's just cost him so much time. So, we'll see. Well, I mean, you've seen, I'm sure, this season, there's plenty of this season to see Saviour. And he is a man who is very cool, calm and relaxed under pressure. So... yeah, there is actually, yeah, very much so. There is, yeah, many in Tier 1 that just are very cool, can just keep a very level head, but Saviour has got through on the few, and he's back, and he hits the back of Chris, taps the back of Chris, coming into the final corners. I think Chris was held up by another Chris, Thomas Hornet, who is now pitted lap 12 on his hard tyres. Chris Bailey has just got the DRS though, but that's allowed Saviour to close up. Well, we said the overcut this time worked, but due to cars on used tyres, due to the difference in grip, that has cost Chris. But Saviour's got wing damage. Saviour's missing an end plate. Maybe that tap with Chris has caused the end plate to go flying off that McLaren. How much is that going to hurt around here? Have you had any issues around here in terms of damage? Ah, well. I mean, I did watch quite a bit of T4, and you're right, there was a lot of clean race, and there was a lot of really good battles as well throughout, even in the difficult conditions, and it was a very good race. And this is a difficult track to sometimes have that racing with, isn't it? It's one of those that it's difficult to overtake, and it's difficult to sort of push on as well. So yeah, to have a that's a very good point. Yeah, it is. That's it. The DRS is such a crucial part around here. Yeah, so you're right that it can play a big part in it. As Chris now trying to make a move on Nels and extend through. Nels locks up big time. Big lock up from Nels. Kept it in a straight line just about. But now Chris has got a 5.72 armour, but 3 lap fresher tyres. Ant comes out just behind. Well, Saviour now gets through on Nels as well, who didn't have the DRS. Saviour did, but Ant now going to try to push on. He's now in the middle of this pack. Much fresher tyres though than everyone around him. Rassam on the mediums. I think, did Rassam start on the mediums? I think he did, didn't he? I think he did, so he's going the alternate way. He's got mediums and he's going to have to take the hards quite a long way. Well, I don't know, I think you can find out on Director, can't you? For us. For 5 drivers left on track. We have not pitted yet. So long half the drivers can take their tyres. And now with the grip in those hard tyres, going to chase down Nels. Has Nels got the DRS off the back of the McLaren ahead? He does, and not able to close up at this point. GTS looking menacing, looking as though he's going to try and have a sneaky look at the Alpine ahead. Wasn't going to do it, playing the patient game, but Ant got a better drive through turn 2 to turn 3 as well. Impressive grip, but Nels quick enough in a straight line to be able to stay ahead for maybe one more lap, and trying everything all over the back of the Haas, as he doesn't want to lose any time or any more time to Saviour ahead. Sternberg with another 3-second penalty. Was having a good start to the race, difficult one now after he has pitted. GTS running very deep into turn 7. Nobody here knows to tail behind Nels. It's just dropping a little bit of time to Saviour, who has dropped outside of the DRS to Chris Bailey. Chris hasn't quite making inroads at this moment on Armour. Armour looking very comfortable after a really good start. Yeah, yes, he's now close to the win, and DRS, of course. Yeah, G-Star hasn't pitted though yet, and still going round again, so I wonder if... Yeah, he said yes. Well, I said it was about a second. It's already 6 tenths. Okay, that changed. Nels had a moment in the final sector, and now we see Ant powering through, and GTS following suit as well. Double DRS, of course, don't forget. So they have it down the start-finish straight, and now you will see the rear wing on the Alpine pop open, and away he goes, trying to chase down the McLaren once again of the championship leader Saviour. You're sitting there in 4th. If it was you, Josh, would you be trying this one stop, or would you be looking at pitting early? Yeah. Oh yeah, did you do the 2 yesterday on the Inters? Do so, yeah. Oh right, okay. Ah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the 2 stop. I mean, I did the 1 stop, or tried the 1 stop, I should say, on Monday in the Inters. Yeah, it didn't feel good. It was not. I had so little pace that it was just. I was willing Ben to come and lap me, just to do 1 lap less, because I just didn't think the tyres would last to the end. And he did. Luckily, about my lap 35, he actually did pass me. Finally, yeah, I definitely think the 2 stop would have been the way to go. And like you said there for your race, it was just that touch and go between the wet and the dry tyres. That is always so difficult, isn't it? To judge that of, do you push on or do you take a gamble? And it's. Yeah. Yeah, they are the harder ones. I think we had it in... that might have been in Brazil as well last week for us in Tier 1, that we were the same. We didn't have that exact dry line. You're right, you know when it is proper Inters, when you've got that line. And it just didn't have it at all. As we'll come back to that, because Ant is taking a beautiful helicopter shot through the stadium section, taking a different line to Saviour. This man now catching up with the DRS on the McLaren. Saviour doesn't even try to defend it, knows it's futile at this point. Of course, Saviour, wounded car as well, lost a bit of downforce when it comes to braking and cornering, and Ant now back up into 4th to try to close down on his teammate. Armour has got through on G-Star. Of taking these tyres a very long distance indeed, maybe trying the 1 stops. Well, he's going to have to be trying the 1 stop strategy, I think, from this point. Yeah, I think Nels and Maverick are the only others who are trying it. So full credit, hopefully that it works for them. But Armour has pulled a gap. He's actually, such as the pace of Armour, he's not a million miles away from Maverick already, and Smith, who's just coming down to start lap 19, whereas these boys are in the final sector. So Chris, of course, the tyre offset on G-Star, he's going to have the DRS to help him and aid him, as Ant is starting to close on him. So his teammate, this is going to be interesting if those 2 battle. Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, Chris gets the move done pretty much before the DRS has popped open, and he's gone G-Star, just trying to get a bit more slipstream as well down the start finish straight. GTS is holding on to Rassam at this point, so Rassam had the wing open, but just didn't seem to really have the straight line speed out. If Rassam's 8 lap old mediums versus 10 lap old hards, I don't know which one I would rather be on. Yeah, I think you're right with the hardest. Yeah, I think that's probably the better option. They're just, yeah, you can push them a bit harder, can't you? You know, yeah, they're a bit more consistent. I think you're right. So, yeah, probably would favour GTS in this situation a little bit more than Rassam. Just purely based on the tyre difference. And we can see from G-Star that, you know, he's taken them 19 laps, so is Nels and Maverick. Armour's taken his 10 laps now on the hard, so with 16 to go. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to plan on doing next, and if he's gone for the harder allocation, or if he's gone for the medium allocation, if he's got mediums left or another set of hards. Because that's going to be telling. That's going to be a big change. Rassam once again, wing open, but not really making inroads. Anton G-Stan's now got through on the man who has not pitted yet. Rassam has the wing open, but now either he's gone for a very high downforce setup, or yeah, I mean, he's up in 7th, so it's working for him in some respects. He can't knock it, but he's just not able to do anything about GTS down the start-finish straight. So it's an interesting one. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be able to get close to challenge. Now, like I said, I don't know if he's sitting there on purpose or if it is a setup thing. Maybe GTS is running a very low downforce and has that just the offset, that straight line speed. Xavier now closing to the back of G-Star as well. And has closed to within 2 seconds of his teammate, but just over that now. Well, keep an eye on the gaps with the top 2, because 4 lap difference in the tyres is quite a lot. And that could be, you know, up to 10% potentially of tyre wear difference, and that is a lot of grip, isn't it? That's... yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does. It's amazing when your tyres do get to about that 10-12%, that the difference is it's massive, isn't it? Saving out through on G-Star. Actually, I thought Chris had actually pulled up a little bit and got a little bit, pulled a few tenths on Armour, but Armour through 5 and 6. Has the pace and has the speed. I wonder if Armour's just using... I think he was running... Armour was running quite a bit lower downforce than Chris the other night, so it's going to be interesting to see if Chris can offset that somewhere. Save it through on G-Star. Now it's GTS and Rassam. With GTS having a look around the outside in the stadium section, can't get through. Trying to be patient, we'll get the DRS down the start-finish straight, and I'm sure we'll make very short work of it, as now Rassam hits this another pit stop for him. He took those mediums 10 full laps, so we'll keep an eye on which tyres he's going to use for his second stop, and it is the hard tyre, so he'll comfortably go to the end of the race on those. 14 laps left as we're nearing the 2/3 marker, as Chris has taken about half a second out of Armour's lead, and it does ebb and flow through different parts of the track, so however they're setting the cars up is definitely playing a part. But interestingly, GTS, I don't know if you've seen this as well, that he was struggling quite a bit early on the medium tyres, and he seems to be a lot more comfortable on the hard compounds. Yeah, he's not giving Xavier any breathing room. He's for harvesting battery as well at this point, so maybe just been pushing quite hard to get through. And we know Xavier is a little bit wounded with that end plate missing. But Armour now pits from the lead. Armour with his second stop, 14 laps. He took those hard tyres. Xavier pits as well, releases Drag King into what will be net 3. G-Star finally pits as well, but he's relieved to get off those tyres. Actually, I think G-Star's going to come out okay. I think he'll come out around Dummer's Hornet area, if I'm not mistaken. Dummer's Hornet and Loppy. And those are two drivers. For a bit of history for you, my friend, there, Josh, is these two had some incredible battles for numerous seasons. If you found one on track, you would usually find the other. Pretty much. Absolutely pretty much. They had battles week in, week out, and I've had plenty of battles as Loppy. The DRS does make the move on Chris. Thomas Hornet now drops down to 9th, but interestingly they've come out ahead of Saviour as well. Has Saviour fixed his wing? Yes, he has. So a slow stop from Saviour, but fresh medium tyres. And he's already looking at making the move on Dumas Hornet. I don't think Dumas Hornet fought that too much. Knows it's not his race. And maybe just a smart. Oh, he did, yes. That's a good point. Good spot. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, so who's going to pit first this time around? Chris pitted early. Loppy, 3-second club as GTS now pits. Let's have a look at these penalties. 3 seconds for a number of drivers. Sternberg, Vitelso with 9 seconds. So they're starting to ramp up a little bit. But we're going to keep an eye on the pits. GTS has gone for another set of hard tyres. I kind of don't blame him, really. Obviously, he chose the hard allocation, but he just seemed a lot more comfortable on them than he did the mediums. There's Saviour with the DRS. Oh, Loppy makes the move. Dumas Hornet also DRS behind, but not able to be close enough. However, this battle is going to be reignited once more. As there's a yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's Maverick just moving out the way. Yes, it is. So no harm there. I think that was Armour. Yes, it was. Armour and Polsky going through. But we say it's about 20 odd seconds for pit stop. That gap between Armour and Ant, who has taken over the lead of this race, is only, well, it's less than 15. So Armour's looking pretty strong, I think, at this point. What would you do if you were the top two at this point? Would you... I mean, we saw G-Star take the tyres about the 20 laps. That didn't feel good. But would you look at trying to eke them those 23 laps or so to the end? Yeah. And especially with... yeah, and he's going to have that fresh rubber. He's just going to be able to push on. Yeah, the gap hasn't really come down this lap, but I think now Armour will be able to push on as G-Star, Armour, GTS, all fighting now. Have all pitted in recent laps. But G-Star, GTS with the penalties so far. That's all over the back of GTS once again. Now Saviour's got through on... he's pulled a 4-second gap already to Loppy. But he's got 3 seconds to get to the back of these guys. Now if I go to and show the leader gaps, Saviour is out of contention at this point. If the leaders pitted, they would come out behind Polsky, but ahead of GTS and in some decent clean air as well. So, yes, there would be quite a bit of time behind Armour. But if Polsky pits again, they could be in clean air and have a shot. It's going to be interesting to see how these two play it. Get that back to the intervals. Armour has started to close the gap now. He's got the heat in those tyres, so he is now pushing on. Single track, oh, speeding in the pit lane. That's not ideal. It is, isn't it? Yeah, you're sort of still trying to attack it, but it does quickly. Yeah, absolutely. It does take you a little bit by surprise from here. There's a few like that. I think Imola's quite one like that as well. That comes quite quickly. trying to think where else we got this quite quick now. Difficult pit lane entries. Probably most of them. Especially this, for me, Singapore is the worst one. Yeah. Oh, save your 3-second penalty. Pushing on. Yeah, I think for me, because you're at the inside of it's very narrow, it's very tight. But you're still trying to carry the speed up into the pit lane, but it's a slow pit limiter. So, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you're trying to carry the speed, trying to just push on and attack it, but then you realise, oh wait, I'm actually doing. Absolutely, yeah. I know they normally pronounce it in kilometres an hour, but mate, we're English. I can't do kilometres. I can't. I've tried and I can't convert it. Absolutely, yeah. Stick to what we know, absolutely. So, folks, everybody watching, welcome to you all. Please do hit the thumbs up, the like button. I am actually not talking to myself. Josh is with me for his Core Comms debut. Unfortunately, we just had a few technical difficulties, so he's here in my ear. But unfortunately, you can't hear him this evening, which is a real shame. But still with us, and we're going to get that sorted for next week, and he'll be with us. So yeah, absolutely, of course we will. Of course we will. We don't give in. Things like that. Armour really starting to make inroads now in the top 2. 7 laps left after this one. They've got about 7.5. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's going to be very close, isn't it? I think. Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah, it was 14. Yeah, now only down to 10. But it depends on what the top 2 do in terms of looking after their tyres. Because if they start to really drop off, then they're going to be really at risk. But we saw G-Star, in fairness, as he speak of the devil, and he shall pay with a 3-second penalty. Another one to his name, but he took them 20 laps, which Chris is going to have to take them longer than that. And he was losing time, granted, but that was mainly to just the people around him who had pitted. He wasn't necessarily losing a huge amount of time, so they seem to be going okay, the hard tyres, to do that and make this one stop possible. So, I mean, it depends, you know. We've now got 7 laps left as they do another cycle around this track, but Armour's taken about, what's that, 7/10? I mean, the tyre's going to feel good for Armour. And don't forget, Saviour down in 8th as well. Let's go to those penalties. Saviour 3. He's got a big cushion. 2 Loppy behind, but he will gain potentially on a couple of drivers there. He wants to be finishing 5th. Saviour doesn't, even with a 3-second penalty. He's there at the back of this queue. There he is. Well, you've got Rassam and GTS once again doing battle. But just Rassam is quick enough to keep ahead of G-Star, but not enough with GTS. And that's something we saw early on. So, but GTS with a 3-second penalty, Rassam doing what he needs on track. Maybe hoping that GTS can close to Polski. Yeah, there are a few with a single track. Obviously, extra 10 seconds in the pit lane. Vittel and Sternberg still on 9. Nels is looking good as well. He could be in with a strong finish. Needs to get through Loppy, that's closing down that gap as well. But Armour, within about a lap and a half, has taken a good second out of the top 2. So, this could get a little bit nerve-wracking, and being a bit nervous if you were Chris and Ant. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much half now, hasn't it, since Armour pitted a couple of laps ago. Well, probably about 5-6 laps ago. It has. Yeah, it has halved. There's now a few more penalties. Vitelso gets another one to his name. But if you look at the intervals, there's a few at the back, just a little bit stretched now. Single track through on Vans, who is making his second pit stop. Into 13th for the boss man. Sternberg's having a good race. Loppy's taken those tyres 20 laps as well. But Sternberg, yeah, had a difficult point, didn't he, Sternberg? He was struggling a little bit, but has got everything working and is doing really well. GTS, that gap was about 3 seconds to his teammate. It's not now. Yeah, that's definitely just disappeared. Now, that's either going to... I wonder if they're going to play the team game, what Polski can do to help him defend, or is he going to try and defend? I think GT's going to just try and make the move, get Polski stays there, goes, okay, that's no problem for me. Now then, what is he going to do about Rassam? What can Rassam do about Polski? The difference in tyres, 9 lap difference as Armin now only less than 6 seconds, and Chris, importantly, has dropped to... Oh, he's just come back in again. I think these two are going to be working together a little bit. He did, yeah. I missed that. I would looked over the top two there. But yeah, good spot. He certainly has, and that's important because, I mean, Polski does not have a time penalty where G-Star and Saviour battling behind. They do have penalties. This could still be a very strong result for Polski, trying the one stop, and let's go to those stops to prove it. There it is. Polski, G-Star, one stop. Nels Loppy as well, Sternberg and Maverick. Maverick have just a difficult weekend, a week, isn't he, with his technical issues, which is a shame because he's raced well before. I know how disappointed and upset he was last night. He was, yeah, really not happy, man, was he? To be fair, neither was Nels. No, but I tell you what, he's making up for it now. They're sitting in 9th, no penalties to his name, battling with Loppy. But that gap at the top still 5.7. It only just last lap, only about half a second taken out in a lap, and we've got 3.5 laps to go. Is it going to be enough, or are the Alpines going to take the victory? Yeah, I think you're right. And Chris pitted a couple of laps early as well, so his tyres will be a little bit more worn. So yeah, I think you're right there. If he is just trying to keep him in that DRS, just as you say, pull him along, and is very good, very, very good at keeping his tyres. As there's a spin that will be, I think, Vitalso in the final sector. Unfortunately for him, as G-Star Saviour. What happened to Saviour? Saviour's made a big mistake. Saviour in the middle sector has had a spin. He's dropped behind G-Star. He managed to keep it. He has. Maybe that was just a half spin for him, but he was close with G-Star. And now he certainly isn't. This is big for the championship. Polski, Rassam's had a moment. Rassam's gone round, and he's had to pit as he's missing a front wing. We can't get to see it, which is very frustrating. I don't know if you'd like to keep an eye on that one for me, please. If Rassam does have to pit, that'll be so frustrating for him. What am I looking for? Tyres. There we go. What a strong race. Battling with GTS. It is. Oh, it is. Oh, I don't know if he had a collision maybe with GTS or Polski in that final sector. Oh, that's heartbreak for him. And Nels has come through him as well, and Loppy. But he's got a couple of laps. I think he's going to be in clean. I think he's probably got the pace to close them down. Soft tyres as well against 23 lap old hards. Oh yeah, he does as well. Yeah, good point. Yes, so... Oh, that'll just be... If I was Rassam, I would be upset. Don't get me wrong. 100%. I know, but you look at those ahead and you think, okay, I've still got these tyres. That's just going to be a bit of a yee-haw moment, isn't it? That's just absolutely go for it in 2 laps. That'll just be great fun with that one. But yeah, Polski there in 5th behind his teammate. So good outing as well for the Aston Martin boys. G-Star and Saviour. they've had a difficult one. Let's go back to these penalties because I'm very confused. Winning a G-Star at this point, still dropping behind. No, Saviour's not within 3 seconds of G-Star, which is what he needs. So G-Star could hold on for 6th. Armour 3.7 behind, but he's only got 1.5 laps to do it. Has he run out of time? Has he run out of time? Polsky is within 3 seconds of his teammate, so he could gain that 4th position back. Let's go back to the tyres, and tell you what, if he does 21 laps, he's done a good stint on the hard tyres as well. So credit to those who have forced that one-stop strategy. Rassam does go through on Loppy, and I'm sure he'll make short work of Nels as well very soon. Well, there you go. I said very soon. Oh, well, straight away. I didn't have time to even cut to it. That's such is the case. It happens that fast. Don't get a chance. So final lap. And the two Alpine boys still working together in tandem. 2.8 seconds is the gap to Armour. He's taken about 7/8 of a second out of them on the final lap. But there's only one more DRS point towards the end of this lap. It's going to be very, very close indeed. But I don't know if he's got it. This could be a great showing from the boys in blue and pink. Yep, they have helmet bay, you're right there, they have, and they just had the pace, they've just been very steady. Armour, arguably the fastest driver on track this evening. I mean, he brought back another 14-second gap, didn't he, was before, behind in 12 laps, so, you know, he's still been doing a second a lap as Chris goes very deep, does not want a 3-second penalty as they enter the stadium section, and though, he's going to come in to turn 16 and through turn 17, and he is going to take the win. But he did it with his teammate, and they did across the line. Wow, they made that one. That was a bit nip and tuck. Slow down across the line. I think it was you first. No, you first. And I tell you what, Armour was saying, no, please me. But it is a blue podium for the boys ahead. GTS just... Oh, Polsky got 3 seconds at the end. That cements him in 5th behind his teammate. Saviour is going to come across the line. Excuse me. What happened to G-Star in that final lap? He had a moment somewhere. And Saviour is through. So the... he'll keep the... he'll keep hold of the lead of the championship. But points dropped for him this evening. G-Star will finish in 7th. Rassam has been storming since his pit stop. He'll come across in 8th. Then Loppy battling with Nels once again. Across the line they come. Nels, because of penalty, will take that 9th place ahead of Loppy. Single track battle back through. He had to serve the penalty. He's got another 10 seconds to go, add to that one, but we'll wait for Sternberg to come across. He had penalty of his own, so single track in 11th. Sternberg, half a second. Oh, Seb Mail jumped them now. So Seb ahead of his teammate, single track 12th. Sternberg 13th. Van, the final man, on the lead lap. He will finish 14th. Thomas Hornet will be 15th. And then we'll wait for the rest of them. But that was a good race. It was quite a bit of a burner, that one. It was, wasn't it? That was really good fun, but I tell you what, the Alpine boys managed that one absolutely. Mercedes has been dismissed, says, and absolutely they have this evening. They have been absolutely on fire. Nils is already saying that the one stop was a bit of a killer, and it was really hard pushed for him. So the race winner is, and with the fastest lap, to Saviour. Nils, the game's driver of the day. GTS with the most overtakes, and Nils the cleanest. So, folks, here are your provisional results. The Alpines take a historic 1-2 here in Mexico, with Armour in 3rd, GTS in 4th, ahead of his teammate Polski in 5th. Xavier in 6th, ahead of G-Star in 7th. Then Rassam leads the Haas Boys home with Nels in 9th. Loppy in 10th. Then the two Mercedes in tandem, Seb Mail ahead of Single Track. Sternberg in 13th. 14th for Vans, and Thomas Hornet with the final point. Vitalso in 16th. Smith 17th. And Maverick in 18th. Josh, it has been a difficult one for you, my friend, unfortunately. It would have been great fun. I know, really tough. Question, though, just come to you. Who would you give for your driver of the day for that one? To Ant, yeah, the race winner. Yeah. Yeah. They did. You're right. They did. So just to all the folks there, just exactly the same reasons I would give. To be fair, mate, I think you hit the nail on the head. The one stop worked to work with his teammate and held Armour off with the pace, the underlying pace that they had. I think I can't deny that one at all. Yeah, I know it's been difficult, my friend, but it has been a pleasure. We will get everything sorted for next week. But there we are, folks. That is your MRC action for this week and for October. As we start into the month of November, we are under the lights in the Jeddah circuit in Saudi Arabia. Monday night at 7 p.m. the Tier 2 boys will take the honour of starting the week's racing as always. But thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Josh, as well. And we will see you all very soon, ladies and gents. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.